with the Isle of Man Vicar, walking by the sea, sharing tales and laughter. Come along with me. Morning dew is shining, seagulls call and flee. Vicar's cap a-waving.
Well, hello again. My name's the Reverend Simon Archer. I'm the priest in charge of the parish of Arbury in Castletown, soon to be actually vicar, so I can actually be the Isle of Man vicar rather than faking it. Currently priest in charge, but also known as the Isle of Man vicar. And I'm here on another little walk, a little trip. Got some bits with me. Got a different stove with me today. I'm doing an early kind of recording. See, sun's right in my face, which is lovely. It's a gorgeous day today, absolutely gorgeous. Perfect if you were perhaps learning to ride a motorbike, which my daughter is, just over a fence over there. Happens to be the car park for Port Soderick. This car park anyway is right next to the CBT test centre, and she's learning to. She's got a motorbike and she's doing a CBT today. So I'm not hanging around for her particularly. I just thought while I was down here, I'd do some filming, so I'm parked up in a car park at Port Soderick. Port Soderick, Soderick. I'm going to walk along to a beach. Let me just remember what the beach is. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Keristal Beach, I think I'm going to walk along to, possibly. But I'm just going to walk down to Port Soderick and a little walk along there, and hopefully walk along towards Keristal. Can't remember it again. Is it Keristal? Yeah, Keristal. Keristal Beach looks interesting. Like I say, got a stove with me. It's not a new one. I've had it for a while, but I just haven't filmed with it. But it's an interesting one, and it's cheap. It's really cheap. Got it off of Temu, and it's funny enough, after I bought it on Temu, I saw it advertised by some camping gear firm, and all they've done is basically had their branding etched into it, and we're charging about 6, 7, 8 times the price. I think I paid about 3 or 4 quid for it. But it's a pretty cool little setup. So what I'll do is I'm going to grab my kit together, and then we'll get on the road. Currently, this is being filmed on my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'm going to flip around between different cameras and stuff like that. I'm going to use my new Osmo Nano, get the drone out, do all sorts of stuff today. I've got the whole kit with me. I realise that most of my backpack is actually filled up with filming gear. Not much else, but I've got a bottle of water, got a stove, got a mug, got some coffee. Yeah, we're sorted, I think. So we're going to head out and see where it takes us. So I'll catch you in a moment once I've got my gear together. So we've switched over to the DJI Osmo Nano. We're going to see how this thing copes. Might need a bit of a smudged. Who knows? Maybe, possibly. That looks alright. So switched over to the DJI Osmo Nano, and I'm going to clip you to my cap, and we're going to go for a wander, and hopefully have a little explore of Port Soderick. Let's move you over to the cap for point of POV, proper POV. There we go. Just making sure we're clipped in. Yeah, we're good. We're good to go. Just to my right, you can walk up to the Isle of Man Steam Railway. There is a station here at Port Soderick. We're heading down the road. I could park much closer. You can park right into Port Soderick and to the right next to the beach, but I thought why not go to the larger car park at the top, and wander down. Make sure my cap's on straight. That'll help. Feels like I've got a bit of a smudge. Don't know. One thing I will say that I've been really impressed with, he says, I'm going to get my cat, see if I can give my lens a bit of a clean. He says, where's my lens? There it is. One thing I have been really impressed with is the microphones on this Nano. I've seen a few little videos and stuff of people talking about the image quality, but I'm not using a separate microphone, just using the microphones that are built into the camera. And yeah, I sound wise just don't feel like, unless I'm going to get some real bad wind noise, so probably if we go out in any storms I might use a separate mic, because that'll cut out some of the background wind noise and things like that. But for this purpose, it's perfect, ideal. So we kind of saw Port Soderick in one of my last videos, because along here is Marine Drive, and you can actually, we actually walked to the other side of Marine Drive, looking down towards Port Soderick, and yeah, it's all on this kind of part of the coast. I guess it's the southeast. But yeah, here bright and early, it's like 9:30 at the moment, which is not that early, but I've been up since about 10 to 6. So and then I had to go pick up my daughter for this CBT. Yeah, but a beautiful day on the Isle of Man. This is what I like to say to people about the whole, how terrible the weather is on the Isle of Man, and it gets really windy and really wet, and days sometimes grey. But when it is nice like this, you're just going to make the most of it. Get yourself out. So I could have parked down here, absolutely. There's often there's some. Oh, there we go. There's our footpath that we'll need in a moment. So that should, I think, take us along to the beach, Keristal Beach. I'm sure the subtitles on my shorts will be having a right meal of trying to say Port Soderick and Keristal Beach. It'll just make up the spellings, but that's fine. Oh, it does say Raad and Foillan this way as well. I do think, if I recall, that the footpath down this way might be a bit broken. Not sure you can actually go that way. But let's see if you're getting a good view. With the viewing dock, I can actually have a look and see what you're seeing. So, here you go. There you go. Put it on there. And that's where I find out I've got a wonky head. Look at that. Very calm this morning. Not much breeze. Probably need to stop in a moment and do a bit of a drone shot flight now while it's nice and calm and I've got some space to do it. Go sit down somewhere and do that. So this is Heroes on the Water. My church warden's Ron comes here to help out and to be part of it, and it's so it's like a veterans place, but lots of people come here. Blue light emergency services, all welcome. It's meant to be for veterans and sort of people who are ex or working in emergency services, but actually they're pretty welcoming to absolutely anybody. So yeah, really nice spot. So they got this building here which was done a few years ago, but great spot. Actually it's a Wednesday, so they'll meet this afternoon. Got a little bench out here in the shape of an aircraft. So we'll walk along the beach a bit, and then I might get the drone out for a bit, so I'll have a pause. I might as well get the flying in now while it's calm. The light's nice. Air is amazing. Love mornings. It reminds me when I'm out camping. The air's very different in the mornings. Hello. Oh no, don't worry about me.
She'd lick you to death.
Well, I've got one like that. Yes, consider it, but no worries with me. Unless it's actually aggressive, it doesn't really bother me. You know. They're probably usually the only ones ever out here this time of the day. So they weren't out there expecting company. So I'm not sure whether this is all closed off, but it might well be. So I'm looking out. Should really talk more because of the podcast, but I say I'm at Port Soderick looking out to sea. We've got a jetty in front of me, a pebbly beach, loads of seaweed, some seabirds, just paddling in the water, barely a wave, just a ripple, a slight breeze, and I've got sort of cliffs either side of me covered in foliage. Trees, shrubs, the browning ferns. So this time of year all the ferns are dying off and going brown, and you get that really deep rich brown colours, and look, the trees have lost their leaves already. It's been interesting actually. So usually because of the high winds we get, you don't really get much of an autumn. It kind of, as soon as the leaves turn, they're gone. But we've had not so much wind. Can you still go up that route? Yeah, it looks like the steps are still there. Oh, we'll go up that route then. It's not closed off as far as I can see. Right, we'll stop and we'll do some drone footage of the bay, because I think that's a good thing to do. There's quite a lot of flies about. You'll get that because of the seaweed. You'll get a fair bit of flies as they sort of break down the seaweed that's on the shore. But already calming, relaxing, beautiful. If I sit back here, it may not look very pleasant, but I'll get my seat pad out, sit my bum down and try and avoid these brambles, and we'll do a bit of filming. So catch you. You find the button. I'll pause the recording and we'll hopefully have a little bit of drone footage after this. footage. Done a bit of recording, so what we're going to do is just head off up this path I've never walked before. Always good. Always enjoy doing some places I've not been. Right on my doorstep, so it makes sense to have a look around here as well. I will go back to some old places because there's some places I really love, like Trevane, or otherwise known as White Beach. Probably do some camping again, that sort of thing. So yeah, just a beautiful, calm, sunny morning. Love it. Love it. Right, let's get walking, shall we? You know me with my editing, so this will be like all the clipping it on and stuff like that is likely to be included. I just like the idea that you can kind of see what's going on, what I'm up to. Right, what's that? Oh, that's clips for that. Right, camera pocket. There's some interesting reviews actually on this camera. It's obviously quite a good little camera. It's not a full-on like action camera in like some of the slightly bigger ones which have got better battery life and exchangeable batteries and all that sort of business, but for the amount of time that I record, it'll work fine with the other camera. So, and I do like the POV walks, so this on my cap seems to do the job. Well, this looks interesting. Wow, I always love steps. Quite a climb ahead of us, so let's go. You think about how much there is, how many footpaths there are on this island, and you can understand how it's hard to keep all this clear and up to date, and you know, you could basically spend the entire nation's budget on maintaining footpaths and that sort of thing. You really obviously can't do that. This is alright. I've probably been here a little while, these concrete steps. They're still here. Whew. I do wonder how long my knees will allow me to do this. We do have a bit of a hereditary knee problem in the family. The light is so good today. Just looking back over the Port Soderick, the beach, the hills with some houses, just a few houses on the hills. Looks like a farm up there because there's a large barn or something like that next to it. Oh, steep steps. There we go. Big iron gate. Old cast iron gate there. Just caught my hat on some brambles. Oh, that reminds me. I did a bit of a thing this week where I noticed that lots of people were saying they had a bumper crop this year of of apples and fruit in general. So I also had a member of my congregation who was an elderly member, about to turn 91 actually. She was saying that could anyone come around and collect some apples from her garden because they're all over the grass and she couldn't bend down to pick them up. So thought, what can we do? I had a little idea. I know. Why don't we go around there, get some apples? What if lots of people with all these huge bounties of fruit start making some pies or crumbles or whatever, and just give them to your neighbour? You make two, one for a neighbour each side, if that's how your home is, like, you know, you've got a house, whatever, with the neighbours next door either side. Why not make a couple of crumbles and give them to your neighbours? Kind of a community thing. It's kind of what I did. I actually made 6 crumbles. We had one for ourselves only because we wanted to make sure it tasted all right. Delivered the other 5, and such an interesting thing, because obviously really nice. Gave one crumble to the lady Barbara whose apples I used. I've got tons left still as well. Gave one to a neighbour, a neighbour one side. Gave one to, actually kept one, as I said, one to Ron, who goes to Heroes on the Water, one to Val, one to Pauline. Both ladies who could always do with a bit of cheering up. Very cheerful people, but not had it easy recently. So I did all that. But it's an interesting response. So some people, great idea. Lots of nice comments, because I shared the idea in the local Facebook group. Lots of lovely comments. Isn't this nice? A few people doing the, I'm doing this already. Okay, well done. That's fine. Then there was a couple of people who were like, yeah, I'd love an apple crumble. Where can I collect it from? Completely missing the point. Other people offering to deliver me apples to make crumbles with. I'm like, no. I'm not suddenly making crumbles for the whole of Castletown. I don't need apples. We have a glut of apples. I'm suggesting everybody bakes a crumble or a pie, gives it to their neighbour. I don't know if people just missed the idea or the point, but it was a really strange thing where it was all, Simon can make a load of crumbles. Try not to look at my phone. I don't want it to appear on my video. So this is Marine Drive, which came the other direction the other day. So I was making sure I hadn't gone too far and gone past the beach. But I'm not even sure I can get down to it, to be honest. We'll have to see when we get there. Gorse on my right. On a tarmac road now. Beautiful views along the cliffs, along this east coast. Looking over farmland and fields. Got a house ahead of me. Got a flat roof. What does it say? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's anything. And yet I'm going, oh, what I wouldn't give to live with views like this every day. Can you imagine looking out to that? Not bad, eh? Keristal Beach on the bend. I wonder if we can actually make it down there. Must be something. Must be a way. Hi. Ah, that reminds me. We had a our dogs had this ball that really wasn't meant to be for pets, so I'll get told off for even talk about it, no doubt, but nicked it from one of the kids' bedrooms. It's one of these squeezy balls, and she's had it ages. She can be very delicate with stuff. She can chew and tear stuff apart like nobody's business, but she can also be incredibly delicate. She's had this thing ages, and it's like a squeezy stress ball thing. And we're in the kitchen last night, and it just exploded. And it was only afterwards we cleared it all up off the floor, gone up the cupboards. She had a bit on her fur on the front, and we cleaned that off, only a tiny little bit. And then my wife went, back of your legs, and it exploded all up the back of my jeans. Would happen to be freshly clean on jeans as well, black ones with like white foam now sprayed up the back of them. It's like, okay, might need to wash those again. I can see a path that obviously goes down to the beach, so we are going to be able to get down there. I'm not looking forward to the walking back up again. Or actually the walking down could be quite tough on the knees, but we'll go down there. That's probably as far as we're going to go anyway. I've got some, that's it. There's a stone in my shoe, making me sound like I'm wearing tap shoes. Quite a popular road here for learner drivers, so you might see a few come along here like there was one there. Yeah, I could take one of these houses quite comfortably, I think. That'll do me. So there's about 3 really nice houses on this corner here, overlooking the sea, and the slopes on my right run steeply down to the coast and the beach. And what I'm hoping to do is to find the way down and try and follow that path down to the beach. Give it a go anyway. Still part of the Raad and Foillan. A few cars up here, so if people have just parked here, whether they've walked down to the beach themselves, whether they're walking along Marine Drive. I definitely saw a path going down to the beach, and I think it started up here somewhere. So we're going to see if we can spot it. And work our way down there if we can.
I think it's quite a winding, snaky path, so yeah, I don't think it starts quite at it looked fairly well mown when I saw it. Bin could be marking the point. There's nothing else around here. Here we go. Keristal Beach. I've made a little sign with a bin. This bin has been bought for footpath friends and beach buddies by the Stars group. Excellent. So we now know where the entrance to this beach is. Obviously completely illegal to camp here, so I won't be looking out for camping spots at all. I'm taking now this winding path. That's like I say, like a snake path. I was thinking about snake paths because I went to Israel. I went to a place called Masada, and that's where a load of Christians hold up against the Romans, and the Romans built, because it was such a fortress that they were holed up in, they built a path up to the fortress, and you can go visit it, and you get there by cable car, but you can also walk up or down the snake path. And usually what we did, but did I do it both times? I think first time I went to Israel, got the cable car up, but did the walk down. Got to the bottom, my legs weren't working. I was so dehydrated because it was so hot. Getting gorse either side, got some brambles, last of the blackberries. I think we're probably towards the end of that season now. Watch is asking me to record an outdoor walk, might as well. I don't really track too much, to be honest with you. Just that little feeling of good when you close all the rings. But apart from that, really, I don't particularly track that stuff. I just try and stay active. Oh, was I telling you about apple pies and crumbles, wasn't I? So yeah, interesting responses on Facebook about that, and so a lot of people assuming that I was then suddenly going to make everyone crumbles because they fancied one. And the other part of it was lots of people offering to give me the apples to make crumbles for them or other people, and that really wasn't the point at all. And it wasn't, and someone else said, oh, you can make me one, to somebody, and they went, no, you're not elderly. I was like, it's not about the elderly, it's great if you've got an elderly neighbour and you can do that, but it's not. It was about being neighbourly, about being nice to someone next door, not necessarily about elders or someone in particular need, but actually just doing something nice for your neighbour. So that was interesting. And then and when I went round to collect the apples, this jacket I'm wearing now, I was wearing, and I walked through to Barbara's back garden, and coming back and so forth, I went out to, she asked me to move her bin, put her bin out for her, so I did that. And I moved the bin out, and on my way back through, caught my shoulder on some brambles and tore my jacket open, with all the stuffing coming out from inside. And as I said at the time, it's no good deed goes unpunished, as they say. But there we go. It's patched up with some tenacious tape, and we'll see how long it lasts. But this jacket is part of like a 3-in-1 jacket, so you can wear this inner with the outer waterproof together for a lot of warmth and dryness, or you can wear the waterproof on its own, or this thermal jacket on its own, which I do quite a lot. But there we go. I'll have to keep an eye out for potentially a cheap replacement in the future, but we'll be all right. Maybe a torn cloth. But hey, if you'd like to donate to repair my clothing, and replace the torn clothing, then hey, why not want to pop onto Buy Me a Coffee, and you can literally buy me a coffee, or you can send a couple of quid my way to help towards paying for repairs and replacements and stuff. Or if you want to go onto Patreon, you can subscribe to my channel on Patreon, and you don't have to. Nobody has to do any of this stuff, but if you do, you'll help me out, and you can give me a couple of quid a month and help me keep this stuff going. Not that it'll stop. So we're now on the beach. We've made it down to the beach. It's all quite pebbly. We've got seaweed on the shore. Very light waves coming through. Not sure if tide is coming in or going out at the moment. I'm not going to look it up. I think it might still be going out. It's quite high. I think I can see some wet seaweed on the rocks, looking like it's only just been left there. So lots of cute kids or people have been down here. Looks like they've been making little walls and forts and making stuff out of driftwood, which is all good fun. And there's water coming down the wall here. Loads of driftwood. Bits of rubbish washed up as well. Unfortunately, it's going to be the case. That's not necessarily local rubbish. It can be stuff swept in from all over the place. Just the tides and the water bring it in, but not too bad. Bits of rope as well, and you can see on the structure over there, there's a fishing buoy, fishing float, something like that. Often you get bits of plastic line and stuff, and that can be from twine, plastic twine, often used in farming and fishing, and a few bits of burnt driftwood, which clearly means people have had a few little fires on the beach. Not so opposed to people having fires on the beach, but it's not likely to spread. Each their own. I'll use a stove. This is nice. So in front of me I've got, like, it's quite obviously geologically I have no idea what this is. It reminds me a bit of it like scarlet, the kind of flat pieces of rock, the layers, like sedimentary layers, I guess, clearly been pushed and pulled about over many millennia, over millions of years. Create this really impressive, really different kind of landscape. But in front of me I've got water pouring down the side, no doubt from a little river or spring or stream. A reminder, don't ever drink out of these unless you're using a proper decent quality filter, not a filter of Temu, proper filter. I don't have my Grail with me today, G-R-A-Y-L, Grail filter. That's one of my favourites. And I would happily drink the water using that. But what people go, oh, it's lovely, it's perfectly good water, it's very clean. The thing is, this is just flowed through tons of farmland. It could have come from the hills miles away, flowed through all this different farmland with fertilizers and animals peeing and pooing into it and dying in it and all sorts of stuff, and then you get the end with all the various microbes and stuff. It's just not worth it. Yeah, you're not a survivalist. If you can boil it, even that's probably not the best thing. Boiling's fine. If you boil it hot enough and long enough, then fine. But I wouldn't without a filter. And a decent filter is not cheap. It shouldn't be. It's going to be more expensive because it's going to be something which is worth paying for. Get one that works properly. But anyway, beautiful. Really like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot, maybe on some rocks up here, put my pad down, get my camera set up, and then we'll make a brew on the new stove. Sounds like a plan to me. Let's see how that works. I'll catch you in a second. Well, it looks like I'm going to get a cold bum because I think at Port Soderick I left my seat mat. Hopefully it's there when I get back. It won't have blown away, so it'll either be there or someone have picked it up, but we'll see. But it's definitely not in my bag. How very odd. How very odd. How silly of me, I should say. So I'm on the Osmo Nano still. Just thought I'd carry on filming on this for now. Don't know why. It's the just damn. I guess the Pocket 3 might give me a slightly better shot, but we'll be all right, I think. And I'm just gonna make a brew. So let's show you this stove anyway. I'll think about my cold backside, which could have been much better if I'd actually remembered to pick up the seat mat, which I didn't. Old age, forgetfulness, there you go. So yeah, it comes in a little pouch. Let me show you. So it comes in this little kind of pouch. And it's just this. So what you have is something which looks a bit like a Trangia burner. And this, which is like a stand, but it works in lots of different ways. So let me take, this is a simmer ring, so you will be able to simmer with it if you wanted to. I don't need to do that at the moment. I'll try not to leave that behind. There's my little tin, which has no fuel in it at the moment. I actually burnt the fuel off the other day just to make sure there's nothing in there. So not perfect because like the rubber rings just come out of that, but that's the lid with the seal on it, so you can carry fuel in it if you want to. I haven't today. And then you have this stove, which has got like the usual kind of holes cut out of it. But the thing with it is that I'll put some fuel at the moment. So you can, if you want to, place the burner in it like that, makes sense, and you can put a pan on it, a larger pan. Now what I'll do in a moment is I will use it like that, which is basically you can sit it on top and I can sit a cup on there to heat. It's because my cup's a bit small, it just fits in between these bits. Or you can put it like that, and a really small cup has the prongs in the middle that can hold it. So you've got like about 3 different ways that you can use this as a burner, and it can do pans, cups, bigger bowls, so frying pans, all sorts of things. By changing it like that, obviously you change how hot it is, but it keeps, generally the distance then stays about the same between the burner and whatever you're heating on. I think that's really clever. Like I said earlier, I saw this on Temu, thought I'd give it a go, a bit of fun, different stoves, always good. A few, like 3 or 4 quid, something like that. And then I saw it, exactly the same one, but what they'd done is on the bag or on this or something, they'd put their name on it, mounting something or other, and they're charging like 20 quid, I think it was, maybe even more than that, but it's about 20 quid. And I'm thinking, it's easy, isn't it? I mean, if they buy in bulk and they buy 500 of them and get them etched, they're probably not paying more than I am paying for it, 3 or 4 quid. And then charge 20 quid for it, you make £16 profit. Well, once you've factored in delivery and stuff. Good, isn't it? So Temu, not bad for some stuff. If anyone says, but Temu, they're all factories, and I can go into a long conversation about how it's a very easy way to look at it from a Western point of view, saying, oh, we don't want these people working in terrible conditions. Improve the conditions, don't take their jobs away from them, is probably the answer there. So I'm going to use it. I could get my other camera out to show you it, but I'm going to use it like it is now anyway. But I'm going to boil some water on it and maybe get my other camera out and do some close-ups of it so you can see what's going on. Get my little camera out. So
let's do some close-ups with the other camera so you can see what I'm talking about here. I thought I'd give a little bit of a view of where I am, where I'm sitting with the Osmo Nano over there. The sunshine shining off the water. Now, let me show you the stove. So here it is. I've got a name for it, but you'll see these on Temu if you look. I'm going to put that over the top to do my heating of water. So what we'll do is I'm going to try and do this one-handed. So I carry these Nalgene bottles, they just don't leak. So what we'll do is we'll add some liquid, bioethanol. Probably don't need much more than that. If I need to fill it up again, I need to fill it up again, I guess. I'll bring out my tea set. So we've got some bioethanol in there. Bring out my tea set. What you get is a really shaky look. So you can see my pot fits on there perfectly. Okay. The easiest way to light this is with a twig. So we're going to try lighting a twig and then lighting it. Right, I'll cut all that out where I was trying to light it about 15 million times. The only thing with bioethanol and fuels like this is that quite often you can't see that it's lit. What I'm actually seeing is the heat coming off it here as it's, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see that, like the pattern on the stones there, you can see the heat's coming off it. Heat plenty of water so I can do some washing up at the end. So you can barely see it, you won't even see the flame. But I'll get the lid on that and we'll start heating up, ready to make a cuppa in a moment. Right, back to this. 2 cameras, too hard. Mix the footage together. So yeah, so I've got this little stove going. What happens is with that kind of Trangia style stove is the fuel's in the middle, you light that and then it heats up and then it gets drawn, the fuel gets drawn through the little nozzles at the side, the little holes at the side I should say, and it becomes more efficient. So I'll take this off now, it's kind of there or thereabouts. On a flat rock like this, very stable, so we're quite happy with that. Can you even see that? Is that in shot? Yeah, it's just about in shot at the bottom, I think. So would I bother with it? Maybe. It might be something I gift to somebody. If I can collect up some more pots and things like that. It works fine. It's pretty small. I think you're better off with one of those little jet lighters or the extendable one lighters. I do have them. I just had a normal lighter with me, but there's a few little pieces of straw on the beach that I could use, so that was fine. But it's its own stove and stand for a few quid. It's got to be worth a try. So I'm going to let that heat up and have a cuppa. And then what I usually do is have a chat while this is heating up, and then while I'm having my cuppa, I switch everything off and just have some space and some time, some quiet, some prayer time, and some catch-ups. So yeah, what else has been happening? So we had Trafalgar service was yesterday. That was that's for Trafalgar Day. So we had the schooling for that at Arbury Church. More training for our Wellbeing Cafe for the volunteers that'll be on that. So we had our second round of training for that. I'm starting to get involved in other stuff outside of the diocese as well, which is interesting. I can't say, there's just nothing much to say at the moment, but I might be going for some training for some church planting training, but that's something else has come up from that, which is interesting. Going back to sort of the digital ministry and evangelism I did in the past. So we'll see where that leads. Potentially nowhere, maybe somewhere, maybe something I can be involved with. trying to get too much involved, but it's kind of where God calls you. So it's whatever you can do to help other people in other places in their ministries and other ideas that people are having. If I've got experience that can help, doesn't necessarily mean me having to take on a huge amount. It might just mean me being on a call or in a working group where I'm just adding my experience to that. So yeah, that was Trafalgar Day. Got ham radio club tonight. I've been working on the diocesan pages, so working on that. I must set up the email. Well, the email's already set up. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but for the diocese, for the comms. But I only got that through sort of Friday, Saturday, and it's just been, obviously weekends are really busy, and Monday's my day off, so I avoid doing anything on a Monday work related, even though it's quite hard to stay away from. And then Tuesday was a full-on day with services and training and all sorts of other bits going on, and having to do some diocesan comms on the social media. I'm pretty sure this probably isn't as efficient as a proper trangia. So if you invest in a trangia, and you can get these little triangular pot stands with which are really thin and light, and I think they're really good. I'd be tempted myself. There's probably other options on there. Definitely recommend you go to Outdoor Gear Essentials. Outdoor Gear Essentials, I can't remember if it's .com or .co.uk, but a UK-based company. Guy there is fantastic and will help you out to put together a stove set that's right for you. They do more pricey stuff, but if you want to go down that route, they do some cheaper stoves. But honestly, this could be like you buy a stove that is quite likely, as long as you don't collect them a bit like I do, but it's quite likely the last stove you'll ever need. You might have a fuel stove like this one and a gas stove. That's going to be about it. So invest in it. Invest in your cups, in your pots, and that's all you'll need for the rest of your life, really. Because they shouldn't be throwaway items. So I might give this away at some point if I find that I don't need it. It was more to sort of try different things out. Heating up the water fine, and start getting my coffee in the cup. I'm trying not to lose anything. Catching the wind a bit, but it's just a bit of a breeze. It would need probably a wind guard of some description, because it's blowing in this light breeze. And you shouldn't really use the thing with the fuel ones. If you use it in your tent, you're taking a real big risk, which really shouldn't. Apart from the fumes, they can spill. Hot fuel spilt in your tent is not what you want, I promise you that. It's nearly there. Get my titanium spoon, whether it is a titanium or not I don't know, but it's a lightweight little spork. Does the job. So it might be this is one of the first videos you've come across with me in it. Maybe you haven't seen anything before, but I generally speaking will try and get out on a walk once a week. And I usually, while I'm out on my walk, I'll make a brew. I might buy a coffee somewhere if we're doing a walk around a town or something, but I'll make a brew like this. And this is that making sure you slow down thing. So it's the idea is that it takes time to boil up water like this. This is why I kind of prefer this to a jet stove as well. These jet stoves, you get the times. You can watch videos of how quickly it boils enough water to make a cup, and it's like, it boils the water in 1 minute and 7 seconds, and this one's in 1 minute and 4 seconds, so it's more efficient and it's quicker. And I'm like, just want to make a brew. I'm not worried about that. Just want to make a brew. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be super duper quick. So this works really well. Plus it's lighter like this. You're not carrying gas stoves with you, which is not the stove. They can be super light. It's often the canister. That's a lot heavier. and often carries more fuel than you really need. This works out a lot lighter. Everything, my little stove set fits in my mug, so everything apart from the fuel fits in there. So it's really small and light. You can put it in a big pocket, not in a jeans pocket, but you can put it in a big pocket, or chuck it in a backpack, or put it in the car, or whatever you want to do. And it's there for when you want to stop off and make a brew, perhaps you drive past somewhere that looks quite nice, park or something, some woods, you just stop, make a brew, stop, pause for a moment. You get instant teas, you can get, I use an instant coffee with milk powder in it already. I don't have the sugar version, so it's just a 2-in-1 Nescafe. Does the job for me. Nearly boiling, there's something floating there. It's sinking again, doesn't matter. I'm sure it's not poisonous. Could be a summer's day today, it really could. A bit cooler, but saying high of 12, but it definitely feels a lot warmer than 12 in this little harbour, this little bay. Thinking if there's any more news. So my daughter at the moment is doing a CBT. I'll try not to disturb her as I go out there and drive away, because she'll be spend the first 2 hours doing like riding around on the bike, and then she'll go out on the roads, which she's never ridden before. Her boyfriend's got a bike. She's always wanted one, so she's starting off with a 125. It's a Yamaha GS 125, something like that. Brand new. But she's got all the gear, all the leathers, helmet, everything. Nice bike with all the safety stuff, as much as you can on it. And this is an island of bikers really, so there's lots of motorcycles on the roads over here, so it is a place which is used to there being motorbikes about, obviously with the TT, stuff like that. Southern 100, classic, the MGP. So we do get a lot of motorbikes over here. How are we doing? It's taking a few minutes. It's just coming to boiling point now. It's probably hot enough, to be absolutely honest. Is it fast? No, not really. Does it matter? No, not really. You can get a huge bottle of bioethanol from B&Q's for about a tenner. You can get one of these stoves for about £3. Cup set, nice cup set like I've got, was about 40, I'll be honest. But that was with the cup and the pot. So I think that's a 3, 5. It's about 600-700 milliliter pot, and a little sort of 350. Like that. It's a cup, whatever. Does the job. Came with the spoon. Did it come with anything else? Don't think so. But lightweight titanium, fits together, good packaging. And this one is it the Lixada? Yeah, the Lixada, Lixada. Steaming away. Be too hot to drink if I leave it any longer, so I'm going to take that lid off. I'm going to pour this in. And obviously I've got a stove that I can put out, so I've got this simmering. What I can do, and I'm on a beach, pop that over, pop that on there, that's out. Done. Stir up my coffee. No washing up. No one ever want to borrow my spoon, will they? Yeah, so I'm going to switch the camera off for now, because I'm going to sit here I'm going to take in these rays, the sunshine, vitamin D. I'm going to relax, chill, have my coffee, and then you can join me again as we get walking. I'm going to decide what camera to use. I'm going to go walk back chatting to you with the view in the other direction, or do I use the selfie stick with the Osmo Pocket 3? Don't know. Which might go Osmo Pocket 3 on the way back. I hope my seat pad's still there when I get there. Right, so catch you in a minute. So coffee's done, washing up's done, everything's packed, and I haven't forgotten anything this time, I don't think. So Keristal Beach, lovely place. I'm going to have to start working our way up. I'm going to use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for the way back. So I'll have a little bit more steadier footage because this has obviously got the gimbal on it. And say goodbye to the little waterfall over there. And have a wander back, and we can have a chat because I've got the microphone on and I can turn around and I can do this. And it should actively track my face. There we go. Like it or not. So yeah, if I ever get around to putting the podcast up, I've got about 3 to put up. Yeah, so I'm walking back along Keristal Beach. Lots of flies about, so not unusual. Loads of flies on where there's loads of seaweed. We tried to come to one of these spots along here. I think it was Port Soderick or one of the ones along here before, and it was the attempt was to have some lunch, and found that these flies made it rather impossible to eat anything without being swarmed. So a cup of coffee just away from the seaweed was fine. Right, so now we've got the climb. It's the climb. As Miley Cyrus would say. I've got to turn this around because this view beautiful skies. Not terrible, is it? He says nearly falling over. Get that tracking on again. Okay, so now time for me to get completely out of breath as usual. It's not too bad. Doon Glen was quite a trek I found on the way back. There's quite a lot of climbing there. But here, when you get to the top, that's it. You're pretty much done. It's not too far up. Could be some decent shots for the thumbnail. Ta-da! Anyway, out to sea, maybe. This little tunnel of brush, or whatever it is, ferns and shrubbery. There you go. So definitely prefer the Nano for chucking on the peak of the cap, and does make life a lot easier. Hands free. I don't get to do like this kind of shot, although I could put it on the selfie stick, no problem at all. You'd need to be a bit more conscious about where the camera is pointing. Ooh, it's good on the calves and the hammies. Got quite short hammies as well, hamstrings. Have to do stretching exercises on them. we're not far off. Whew. Whew. Right, this mic is going to flap around. A lot of people do this. Should we try this? Because clip them to the side of their cap or something. Is that it? Maybe? Well, it's there at the moment anyway. Oh, another look at the view. Lovely. Need more superlatives, Simon. We'll try this. Mike's to the side. Whew. We walked up the snake path, we're at the top. Here we go. See how long we can extend this. It does get a bit wobbly towards the end, but almost drone-like. So a really bright day today. So back on the Marine Drive, walking part of the Raad Foillan. I suppose I should really knock these off my Raad Foillan walks as well. I'm doing that in sections anyway. But I think the last time I did one, I did like a 6-hour walk. So I might need to put in a proper hike. I'm going to add it to that directory. Walking back past, well, we got a learner car behind me. We get on the path. What path there is. I'm sure this is a good spot for when you're when you're quite early in your learning. Simply because it's a very quiet road, quite wide. quite warm. I have got 2 layers on underneath my jacket, which are one's a decathlon base layer and the other one's a merino wool. Basically a base layer as well, but I put it on over the top, so I've got 2 very thin layers, but they're very warm. So, apart from Crumblegate, the apple crumble situation, I'll be making some more later in the week. So apart from the apple crumble situation and Trafalgar Day celebrations and service, taking over social media for the diocese, oh, you could do me a favour, couldn't you actually? Why not see what the diocese is getting on with? So if you're on Facebook, Diocese of Sodor and Man. Diocese of Sodor and Man will get you, you'll find us. And it's not too much to what, there's a couple of prayers a day, an announcement here and there. Not going too mad at the moment with it. So yeah, you can always go over to Facebook and give that page a follow. You'll see what we're getting up to over here. It's only just started really doing it properly, so be interesting to see what happens and how that develops over the next few months, probably years. Mentioned before, don't forget, if you want to support, you can go on Patreon or buy me a coffee. The links will be in the description below, and you can support the channel that way. We don't get monetized over here, at least not at the moment. So really none of the social media channels. I've got Twitch actually, but I don't tend to use Twitch now. But you don't get paid out on social media channels now because they don't recognise the Isle of Man. It's like to do with AdSense and all that sort of thing. So it doesn't matter how much bigger the channel gets, and we're doing all right. I think we're up to like 590 subscribers. Wasn't that long ago I was talking about hitting 500. I'm being concerned that if I said anything about it, we'd go back under, and we're not. Thankfully, we're at 590 subs. Most of my reels get between a few hundred and 1,000 views. Most of my videos are more like 100 to 200, with a few doing better. Like the walks around Douglas and things, people are interested in towns, particularly if they're moving here. Probably need to do another moving one soon. Perhaps I've just hit 2 years living here, so that would make for a good, interesting conversation about 2 years on. Would I still move here? Would I stay? Would I by knowing what I know now, would I move to the Isle of Man? Perhaps I shouldn't give away the answer. Wait till we do that video. I think that'll be an interesting one. Talk about how things have changed since we've been here, what's going on with family, what's going on with my job, my ministry, my wife, all that sort of business. Financially, what it's like, that sort of thing would be useful. Cost of living, has it changed a lot? Is it harder to live here? I think those are all interesting questions, so we'll do that. I've also got, not this Friday, but a week Friday. So last Friday of the month, I think this month is the 31st. So what I usually do on the 31st is I do a live stream from 8 till 10 on YouTube. And it's like a bit of an all-in-one Q&A, catch up, ask whatever questions you like about ministry, about living on the Isle of Man, about camping, hiking, walking, stoves, tents, whatever you like really. You can ask me whatever you like, I don't mind. I'm generally pretty hard on my sleeve type stuff, so I would usually answer all questions unless I feel like it's impossible, I don't know the answer, it's inappropriate, if I feel I'm being baited, as some people like to do. I think they get their gotchas on you. I had one the other day which was Because I said about the loneliness thing, which I'm not going to go on about, but I said about the loneliness. They said, surely if you believe in God, then you're never lonely, are you? Because He's always with you. It's like, oh God. It sounds like a good question until firstly you realise the intent there, which is to ridicule and to belittle, and because you don't believe in God, that's fine. But also, it was worded that, I can promise you it was worded that way. But it's also a case of not understanding our humanity. Like all of a sudden, everyone who's Christian or has a faith of any kind can automatically then live in solitude and become a hermit because they don't need anybody else. Surely you don't need anybody else then, do you? So that's not how it works, because I am a human being and we have emotions and needs, and it's anyway, let's not get into that again. Oh, I can't tell you how good it is to just get out and walk, to look out to sea, to look on these beautiful coastlines, the beaches, the rocks, the sound of the water, waterfalls, the waves lapping up against the rocks, surrounded by beautiful smells and sights and sounds, bird song, seeing the season change as the ferns become brown. As you can see on my left hand side here, my left, you can see all that, the ferns becoming that beautiful deep brown, and the brambles still green, and and the gorse still always with its flowers. It's always flowering somewhere on the island. And just the clouds coming over right like they are now, and you see the shadows of the clouds rolling across the rolling fields in front of me, because the fields in front are like, really, let's turn you around for a moment. He says, no, try, and you'll see, apart from you can actually see the clouds rolling across those fields. You see them moving, and just stunning. But you can see how steep some of those fields are. That's a bit of a interesting one to mow or to plant or to wow. But yeah, and just those blue skies and the white clouds against them, absolutely amazing. So I'm coming back up to the Iron Gate. Let's give you a bit of a POV view now, shall we? I think you've had enough of my face for a while. There you go. There's the Iron Gate we're coming up to now, I mentioned before. Just going past that. There's like fleur-de-lis on it, I guess. I don't know the names for all this stuff. And now you'll see how steep, again, these steps are. Doo-doo. Steep enough for you? Okay, let's go. And downhill's always interesting, because if anyone with dodgy knees knows that the downhill bit is the bit that it kind of, your knees go, no, don't like this much. Port Soderick. I'm still got to walk up to the car, but that's fine. Is my seat mat there? I don't think it is, you know. Don't think it is. I think it might be gone. I'm hoping someone's left it somewhere. It definitely wasn't in my bag. No, I didn't put it away. Pretty darn sure of it. Hopefully someone's left it somewhere. It might be if I had it up. No, I don't think it is. I think I would see it from here. I think it's green and black. I don't think it's silver, so I'd still see it. Oh well. There are a few quid. A couple of quid. I've got another one at home that's like two, one for me, one for my wife, so I do have a spare. I just hope nobody thinks I just left it there, because I didn't. Might find it in a bin on the way back, or someone's kept it. We'll see. We'll see when we get closer.
I'd probably find it in my bag, and that would be about right for me, to be honest. That's just slipped down a bit lower and I couldn't see it. Oh no, it's there. It's there. Whoop! Couldn't see it. It's too far away and it was dark. Here we go. Ta-da! Whoop! Ah, that's really good. The great thing is, I promise you, that these seat mats, little seat mats though they are, they work so well in keeping your bum warm and a bit more comfortable and avoiding the emmers. And don't ask me to explain that. If you don't know what the emmers are, then you're good. Says I'm just doing up my bag again with my seat pad in it. There we go. There's a bit of activity around the got up too quick. Yeah, so he's definitely been coming in. The tide's been coming in. So that's way further in now. Smell that sea air, mixture of sort of salty water and seaweed. Sound of the pebbles being moved by the sea, even though it's quite light. Lovely. Oh, how many times am I going to say lovely then? Lovely. Alright, time to walk back. Time to hit the hill. So I'm just walking back up now, up the road with I think it's a nature reserve to my left. Sort of low verges one side on my left and these high verges on the right. Steep banks. Still not sure whether this works for podcasts. I might still keep uploading them and just see what happens, but there's lots of silent parts to it as I'm just walking. So that was Port Soderick and Keristal Beach, with a little bit of marine drive in between. Very nice. And a cuppa.
Great light for filming today. I will say that. I can't tell what it's going to come out on the screen, but when you get a day like this where the light's good, it definitely shows up on the screen that you're monitoring. There's lots of contrasty stuff going on. The trees and the light and the clouds and the blue skies. Whew. Yeah, the one concern I had with the podcast is when I'm doing proper hiking and walking, I do get out of breath. I'm not that fit. Fit in the sun. A lot less fit than others. But I worried it became like a heavy breathing podcast. Like an ASMR or something like that. But basically a podcast to watch if you want to listen to someone heavy breathing. Oh dear. I'm going to keep my head down when I go back to the car, finalise this little bit of filming, say goodbye. I don't want to distract my daughter, who will be practicing, hoping she hasn't dropped the bike yet. Because that does happen, and it will get marks on it, even if it is shiny and new at the moment. Lovely. I keep saying lovely, I know, but it is lovely. Nothing wrong with that. Oh. Nearly there. Around the corner. Oh, is that a bus stop? It is. Right next to the car park. The entrance to the car park's just on my right. Hear the bike going. I assume she's still there, so it might be somebody else. But we're back at the car. All right. So let's keep the mic here. Good walk, nice walk, lovely place to sit at Keristal Beach, Port Soderick. You can drive and be pretty close to, which I think is great. But the path was all right. Some steep steps, up and back down again. A winding path, not the hardest I've done, so not bad at all. And yeah, just great views. Worth getting out today while it's nice. And yeah, I'm gonna edit this down, get it ready, try and get an early one out to the patrons, as I try and do. Get it uploaded and then share it with the patrons. So I'm gonna move on because my daughter's probably gonna get distracted by me and I don't want that. So I'll do my usual saying goodbye. So take care of yourselves. More importantly, take care of each other. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.